Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a trendline rejection on the Russell. So the Russell has come into this trendline high, and it's come in here a couple times. It was anchored back here, and it had a strong rejection lower. Once it came up here, rejected right off again. That one wasn't as strong as the first rejection up here, but still pretty viable, right? I mean, that was still easily a 50-60 tick move down. Came back up to it again, rejected right back down again. Once we caught a little bit of buying in this buy zone here, moved up right into supply, right up here between 1130.1 and 1131.7, which was also directly at the highs of the wedge. And now we've immediately come crashing straight back down again, blew right through the buyers here and are blowing right through the buyers here. So what I'm looking to do is, moving over to our entry chart, I'm looking to enter in here at 1122 to go short. Now I had to move to the 5 JJ bar chart just because the 3 was just moving too much. There was too much going on, and it was hard to find a good pattern. So we had to slow it down a little bit and go into a 5. Now because we're on a 5, we got to bump the stop a little bit higher. Normally I trade with 5 tick stops. Now this is going to have to be around 15 or so, just to kind of compensate for the difference. So looking short from here at 1122 even, and looking for the overall target down here, a couple ticks ahead of 1113.2. On here we do have underneath a buy zone starting at 1114. So what I'll probably do is just set my buy order at 1114, just to get out ahead of the extension target down here, where the buyers should start to come in. Might slide off a little bit past that, but we'll probably see a bounce down there at 1114. So looking to hop in short here at 1122 and ride this thing all the way down. Now, to preface this trade, this is a very, very big trade. This is, I'm starting out risking 15 ticks, getting in at 1122, but the size of this move, you have to take this into consideration, because where my target's going to be for my entry, 1122 down to 1114, is 80 ticks. So it's a very big move. Now, the one thing that we do have in front of us that we have to worry about is this previous low of day down here. Now, when we come into the low of day here, usually you see a sell-off or a slide-off at the low of day, if not at least by a couple ticks. In this case, the last time we touched it, we slid off 40, 50 ticks. We do have news right around the corner at 10 o'clock, so news in about 4.5 minutes here. Looking to enter in ahead of that, this is very aggressive. Because we've got the news essentially looming within a couple minutes, what I'm looking to do is take this news and use it to push this market further down. Now, we're using a 15-tick stop for an 80-tick target. So our risk reward is grossly intact. We're about 5 to 1, sitting really, really well where we should be for our risk reward. So even though there is news around the corner, even with slippage, my initial stop versus what our potential profit is still perfectly in line. So what we're looking to do is take this news event once it triggers here in a couple minutes, to get this market to really start rip-roaring to the downside. We've already had a very aggressive sell-off prior to the news coming out. So my guess is, usually when you see something like that, it's usually sort of a precursor to what the news event is going to do. Now, it doesn't matter if the news comes out bullish, bearish, whatever the news comes out as, usually the precursor move to that will be the continuation. And then, say it goes down in the news is bullish. It'll usually get a spike down really quick and then start kind of coming back up again. So we're short here at 1122. Stop is sitting at 1123.5, just above the BMT, so we're in the safe zone there. Looking all the way down to 1113.2 is our target. And what we'll do is 1114 at that buy zone, so we'll bump that up there. And now that we've got that all set and ready to go, what we'll do is we'll come back in a little bit once we start getting a little bit of favorable price action, and we'll see how the trade turns out. All right, guys, we're back. So we're coming down. We've got our stop locked in here at 1119, just above, right on top of this BMT here and above some of these swings. We're coming in to crack these lows down here at 1116.3, and that's why I'm looking at just ratcheting my stop up a little bit. With this stop at 1119 to our entry, we've locked in 30 ticks already. So even if it does reverse from here, still up $300. We can't complain about that. Now, once we start breaking into this low of day here at 1116.3, we're going to be coming into 1115.6, and historically, at least speaking in terms of where people usually keep their stops, is usually below the previous low of day and usually below the current low of day. So if we start triggering into this 1115.6, we're probably going to have a little bit of a slide off into this buy zone here at 1114. Now, on top of everything else, we're already expecting stops to be under here. We've also got the low of this buy zone here at 1115.6, which is usually the next area that they're going to keep their stops at. So if we can really start triggering some stop losses, we should get a pretty strong move on the way down here to get a quick fill. Now, it wasn't as strong as I wanted to see. I would love to have just seen this rocket straight down into our target. But because we've got 30 ticks locked in, we're above the BMT up here, or at least one of the BMTs. The second one's a little higher up. I'm more than happy giving this the room just to continue running down. Now, if we come close, if we come to the bottom of this this channel down here, our trend direction indicator here, when we come down to the bottom of that, if we start bouncing before we get the fill, a couple ticks away, if we start seeing signs of reversal, we'll just close it. I'm not going to argue over a couple ticks. I'm more than happy just to get out at a really solid profit. So currently right now we're rounding into the target down here at 1114. Let's see if the sellers can give us one more strong little push to get that filled. And again, we'll be looking at a bounce around 1113.2 or so, but I want to get in ahead of them at 1114 on that buy zone there. Just being a little bit more conservative on a very large trade. We've already given it more than enough time from our entry back here at around 958 into right now going on 1013 or so. So more than enough time for this to get its legs down. Right now we're 3 ticks away. If we start seeing signs of reversal, we'll just close the position early. Again, like I said, we're not going to argue over a couple ticks. I'm more than happy taking 70 ticks out of the market on just one contract. So we'll give it a little bit of time here. See if we can get a little bit more of a push down here to get our target filled at 1114. You're seeing them kind of stalling out, right? We know we're coming into a buy zone down here. We've already broken below the previous low. We're coming in and already broken the current day low. We know buyers are starting to accumulate this area. Chances are you might have a little bit more of a slide off. Again, we'll probably bounce off of the extension down here. Usually what happens. And then after that, it might collapse right back down again, might be the reversal for the day. As far as I'm concerned, I got my target filled, so that's really all I care about. So let's turn on the chart so we can see what's going on. So again, took a short trade off of a trendline rejection up here on the 60-minute chart and got short at 1122 all the way down to our target at the buy zone at 1114 for a total of 80 ticks, measuring from the entry to the exit for an absolutely gargantuan trade. $800 on just one contract is definitely nothing to shake a stick at. So very solid trading on the way down here on the Russell. So that's going to be the trade for today. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. And don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. Have a good one. Bye.